Hello and welcome back to the Designated Pundits, a special second episode today. We are in the Western Conference reviewing everybody, I guess, sort of a mid-season. It's really like the last third of the season. There's only like 10 games left, but we're looking at the bottom half of the West right now. We're going to go through the last 8 teams. Let's talk about, are they overperforming, underperforming, right where they should be? You know, we'll see how it is. Anyway, we'll roll the intro. I'm Scott. He's Dion. Dion, second episode back to back. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Hey, I'm not going to lie. I like the music of our intro. I'm always like, if only people could see what I'm doing while the intro is running. Because like I am actually like bobbing my head to that. It's a great intro song. Like the music.
It gets me pumped every time. I wish you could hear the old intro from like before, because a few years ago Bob redid everything. The old I-80 Sports intro, that was incredible.
Oh, really? I'll have to go find an old.
We'll have to ask Bob to dig that up for us. It was great. All right, let's get right to it. We're doing the bottom of the West right now. If Bob was here, we would have a graphic for this. Bob's not here. It is Bob's fault. I was working today. I was very busy. I had calls with Australians right up until right before we did this, so I didn't have time to load up graphics and stuff like that. So we don't have a graphic. I'm going to read the bottom 7, and Dion, you're going to start us, and you're going to tell me overperforming, underperforming, right where they're supposed to be. Okay, so let's get to it. So in 8th place in the West, give me a sec. I just had to navigate to it. Super prepared at this moment.
I was going to say, I have it up if you want me to say what they are.
I was just looking. We were talking about a player off, the recording, and I was just looking at their player page, and I needed to be on the table. Okay. 8th place in the West, the Colorado Rapids. Thoughts?
I would say that the Rapids are probably where they're supposed to be. I could see Colorado Rapids, to me, always in that like 8th to 10th spot. They're not doing anything great and not doing anything terrible. So I'm going to say they're right about where they're supposed to be.
I think that the Colorado Rapids have underperformed a little bit. I think that Colorado should be above Austin and probably above Portland. And if I really put my finger down on it, it's like Cole Bassett is a really good player that they haven't gotten enough out of this season. Jordy Mihailovic, who they just traded away, so that's a bummer for them. But Jordy Mihailovic was the heart and soul of this team and carried them a long ways. And I think he did enough. I don't think the rest of the team did enough to make that matter. They have decent coaching. They have decent players in most positions. They're not a superstar team. I don't think they're like a contender, but I think they underperformed a little bit, especially relative to what I expected at the start of the season. However, now that Mihailovic is gone, I do expect this team to drop.
Oh, okay. You're saying that they're going to drop some more. Okay.
Well,
he was the heart and soul. I agree with you on that. I mean, he was the key to that squad. I don't understand why they would trade him away.
Yeah, if I pulled up some stats here, top scorer is Rafael Navarro at 9. Second place is Georgi Mihailovic at 9. Number 1 assist is Georgi Mihailovic at 5. Second place is Navarro at 2. Anyway, goals and assists. Oh, I was like, it's Navarro at 11, but it's actually Georgi Mihailovic at 14. It's because he's been traded that he must be off this.
Yeah.
they're pulling them off already. Anyway, I think they're starting to lose it down. Okay, next up in ninth place is Colorado. Or sorry, San Jose. Wow, back to back. This is why we don't do back to back.
Yeah. No, you're good. You're good. For me, San Jose is underperforming. They started off the year scoring goals galore, and all of a sudden, I feel like they can't score anymore. In their last 5, it was 1 goal, 2 goals, 2 goals, 1 goal, 2 goals. So, I mean, and they were scoring 3 plus a game pretty much. But also at the same time, their defense is awful. I mean, they give up goals also at the same time. I mean, they've given up 45, but they've scored 49. So, like, at the beginning of the season, they could just outscore opponents. All is good. But
Mhm.
recently, not that great. And I think that they're underperforming.
I completely agree. They are my biggest underperformer. They're way too talented to be where they are. Both Chicho and Joseph Martinez have 11 goals apiece. Espinoza has 8 assists and 4 goals. The offense has been fine. The defense has been a disaster, an absolute disaster. I think the midfield is really not solid enough. But they're my biggest underperformer. They should absolutely be higher up. All right, moving down to 10th place, first position outside of the playoffs, Real Salt Lake. Be careful.
I know.
I know. I kid.
No.
Be honest. Be honest. Nobody's more honest than RSL fans.
Yeah. I want to say that they are underperforming because I think that some of these guys have the potential to be really good. We know that Luna is good, but I've always been intrigued by Anelli. I've always liked the way he has played. I thought that he played fairly well against the Red Bulls. Was it Sunday?
Yeah.
They played. I thought that he played fairly well there. I think you have some talent there in Gozo. I mean, once he really gets into the swing of things, I think that he could be really good for you guys. It's hard. I went back and forth. I would say that they might be on par where they should be right now, just because they have not performed great. They're not scoring, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they only have 27 goals on the season.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If they were scoring a little bit more, maybe I would say I would go with that hard underperforming. But I would say right now they're where they're supposed to be.
I'm going to say they are mostly where they're supposed to be, with a slight bias towards overperforming. And it's the goals that is kind of the thing for me. They don't score a lot of goals. If you think about the end of last season, Anderson Julio out, Chicho Arango out. Even back to midseason, right? Andres Gomez out. The 3 guys that scored most of your goals gone. Matt Crooks was your starting offensive, midfielder in the middle. He's gone, and you're replacing him with a DP in Diogo Gonçalves, who came in midseason last year but could not win a job. Now he has a job and has really done diddly squat with it. I honestly think that RSL most weeks rolls out with 1 player in their offensive unit who would start on a normal team. That's Diego Luna.
Yeah.
That's not disrespectful to Xavier Gozo, who I think is a really exciting talent. I don't want to be disrespectful either to like Willie Agata, who I think a lot of teams would be pretty happy to have Willie Agata as like a backup striker. He is surprisingly good in the air, and puts out quite a bit of effort, but he's not kind of on par with other strikers in the in the league, even amongst teams in RSL's sort of part of the table. So I think playing without an offense, I think they're actually surprisingly high up the table. But the rest of the roster is pretty good. They have a pretty good defense. They have a really good goalie. They have a pretty solid midfield. And Ellie, as you mentioned, is a guy that actually should get a lot more love. His partner, Brian Ojeda, should get a lot more love. The third string midfielder, Pablo Ruiz, should get a lot more love from the league and media. If they, were doing what they were doing on teams with bigger markets, they probably would. So I think they're pretty close to where they should be, with maybe a slight bias to having actually ground out some results they maybe didn't deserve.
I like that. I like that take.
Well, let's move on to Dallas. How do you feel about Dallas?
Dallas is very much underperforming. With I know that Acosta is no longer there, but they had him. But if you look at this squad, Musa, Delgado, Ramiro, Ferreira, Shaq Moore. Like, yes, Shaq Moore, a lot of people give him hate. Maybe not the best, but like, he's a good player in MLS.
Yeah.
Like, I think that he fits well in MLS. I just feel like this team, this roster, some of the guys I just said, like, they should have been better than what they are. And like, they can't win at home. Why can you not win at home? You're not winning that much at home.
That's the thing for me. They are 14th in home form in the West. 14 out of 15. Yeah. The only team with worse home form than them is the LA Galaxy, and it's not on points anymore, folks.
Yeah. Like,
it's because the LA Galaxy's played one fewer game. If the LA Galaxy gets a draw at home,
and
Dallas will be the worst home team.
Yeah.
That's the thing for me. For the Texas teams, it's always been about being dominant at home, especially through the summer. Well, we're coming up to the end of summer fairly soon. I think that window has passed.
Yeah, I agree.
Dallas, a big underperformer for me. Another Texas team now in 12th, the Houston Dynamo.
To me, I would say with the way that this roster looks to me, and I thought that at first I thought maybe they would be a little bit higher than this just because of Jack McGlynn, but I would say I think that they're on par.
Mm-hmm.
It's just there's nothing really else to say. Just they don't score a lot of goals, 32 goals on the season, letting up 41. I don't feel like that back line is all that great. I really liked Dorsey last year, and this year he does have 4 assists and 2 goals, but like I just don't feel like I hear a lot from him this year. And
he's not as impactful this year, for sure.
Yeah. And it just, I feel like the way that this team has performed from the get-go, they're about where they're supposed to be, and I actually see them continuing to be right about this spot throughout the rest of the season.
I totally agree. I think they're about where they're supposed to be. Their home form is not very good. It's 12th in the West. Their away form is surprisingly good. I think they're a team that works really hard. They were before too, but they have less quality than they had last year and the year before that. And that's sort of the thing. They're not getting enough output out of their offensive players. Jack McGlynn is the only guy that kind of is offensively threatening. I just think they're about where they're supposed to be. A hardworking team that kind of lacks a little bit of that top end talent. Next up, 13th, Sporting Kansas City.
I think they're right where they're supposed to be. To be honest, I feel very bad for Jovic. I think that he should have tried to go somewhere. He should have tried to go somewhere else if he couldn't stay in LA. Like, it sucks that like the whole roster rules and all of that. It sucks that he went to Sporting Kansas City because I think he deserves a better team than that. And I'm sorry Kansas City fans, if there's any Kansas City fans in here and sees this, I'm sorry. It's just, you guys just don't do anything to bring in good players. And you get one, but like there's no one to put around him. Salawy's pretty good, but he's kind of underperforming. But I think that they're right where they're supposed to be.
Yeah, I totally agree. Kansas City's right where they're supposed to be. They just that whatever. They have a very whatever roster outside of Jovic. Jovic, by the way, has 13 goals on the season, which is pretty good.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
But I don't know. Salawy has 6 goals and 3 assists, which is kind of nice. But I feel like this guy, just like Johnny Russell, sort of he just outstayed his welcome in a lot of ways. Like just couldn't keep going. Salawy strikes me as being the same way, but he's only 29 years old, right? He's not over the hump. He's not like Johnny Russell was 35. But Daniel Salawy, in a lot of ways, plays like a guy who's tired.
Yeah, I can see that. And maybe he is tired of playing in Kansas City.
Kansas City catching strays.
Yeah,
you heard it here, folks. Dion doesn't like Kansas City.
I just,
it's not me. It's not the RSL fan. I'm not doing it. It's Dion.
It's the Eastern Conference guy.
It's the Eastern Conference guy.
No, like I will say I'm glad that they finally got I forget what the coach's name is, but I'm glad that they got away from it. Yes.
Yeah.
He was their coach for a really long time, right? One of the longest standing coach in MLS.
Long tenure. He'll
had the worst records ever.
He'll be a Kansas City legend forever because he won a trophy with them and stuff like that. He really made the program into a powerhouse for a while. But yeah,
His recent years have not been great.
I really think it's about roster turnover. They didn't do a good job refreshing the roster, keeping things fresh. I don't think they needed to ditch Johnny Russell, but they needed to manage it better, right? He's a guy that probably should have retired on that team, but they needed to do a good job of making sure that his salary fit his role, and they needed to make sure that they had somebody that could come in and play the minutes that he was no longer able to play. And I just think they mismanaged that badly, and that put them in a hole. Yeah. Getting other talent in the door. All right, that's enough about Kansas City. We don't need to talk about the third worst team in the West. Let's talk about the second worst team in the West. This is terrible. Kansas City St. Louis fans. I'm so sorry. This is all in good fun. I actually really enjoy St. Louis. I want them to be better. But they're in 14th. Let's talk about St. Louis.
I really like St. Louis. And hey, I can talk bad about these teams because I have one of the highest salaried teams in the league, and my team can't win nothing.
That's true. That's true. Atlanta, you guys are easy picks.
They were such a letdown on Saturday. It's CF Montreal, and we had to come back.
I know.
Anyway, St. Louis fans. I'm a fan of St. Louis. Angus that has commented a couple. Huge St. Louis fan.
What's
love
up,
the
Angus?
guy.
Always happy to have you here.
And I want St. Louis to do good. I like Santa Claus up top.
I love him. He's so underrated.
He is. He really is. But this team is very much underperforming. I mean, with Artel, Leuven, I know that they've had some injuries, I believe, but I just feel like this team can't get it together, and they should. On paper, they have the players to do it. It's almost like one of those things like I talked about with San Diego in the last one. Like, we didn't know what to expect because you can have really good players together, but it doesn't mean that you're going to perform well. But in San Diego's case, they are performing well. I think this is the one of those ones. They have good players, not performing well.
Yeah. I'm broadly with you. I do think I think there are probably some holes in the roster in a weird way. Like I can't put my finger on somebody in that St. Louis roster where I'm like, that guy should be gone. That guy's no good. And some of that is maybe I'm just not watching St. Louis close enough. I'm sure somebody from St. Louis could come in and be like, yes, this dude, get him out. I can't do that. I watched I actually watched St. Louis come to Salt Lake and play not very long ago, and I was broadly impressed with the team. I didn't think they were that bad. Klaus especially impressed me. He has a tremendously high work rate. He's very dangerous. I think it's the coaching. I think Angus over here, very much underperforming. Melberg was a terrible hire, fired after only 15 games. I totally agree. I think this team just is the bad coaching. I think there are players in here for them to do better. I don't know that makes them contenders or anything like that, but definitely players to do better. All right. Last place in the West. We never thought we'd say this the year after they won the title, but it's the LA Galaxy. There should only be one answer to this, right?
Underperforming, right?
Yeah.
They're overperforming.
They're overperforming.
No, definitely underperforming. I think it's because of injuries. I mean, that played a huge part in the beginning. And it is crazy to me, with the talent that they have, how big of a role Puig plays in this squad. Like, yes, right now they are in a upward trajectory.
Gentle rising.
Yeah. So I think that's going to be good for them. I like what Peck does. I'm glad that Paintstill's back to see him back and healthy, and hopefully he stays healthy. But yeah, they're underperforming. But at the same time, I think that as the season goes on, we're going to see them perform where they should.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that they're going to make the playoffs, but
no, I think that ship has sailed for them. I do think we're going to start to see them actually put together some good results. I agree. Although I think that everybody on this team is sort of aware, like, hey, the season's kind of gone. But I don't think that means anything towards next season. I think they're closer to being who they were last year than they are to being who they have been for the first half of this season.
Yeah.
A couple of things surprised me, actually. Marco Royce, who we never call his name, right? He's got 7 assists and 5 goals. That's pretty respectable on a team in last place. Paintstill's got 4 goals and 1 assist. Peck has 5 goals, no assists. At least according to FOPMOB. I don't know if
that's what
MLS
I see
is counting his hockey assists, but yeah, I just feel like this team has sometimes lacked a little bit of fire and push. I think your insight about the injuries to start the season, totally correct. They had no form, they had no consistency. Guys were in and out of the lineup, and especially key players like Paintstill and Peck for a little bit could not stay on the field and couldn't be on the field together. Now that's starting to get figured out. It's getting a bit better.
And I think that they need, I don't know, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, their striker. Like, they don't really even have a striker, like a true striker or one that has been known. Because I don't even know how, like I said, I don't even know how to say his name, and I'm not even going to attempt it.
Nascimento?
Yeah, there you go.
Mateus Nascimento?
Yeah.
Yeah, a Brazilian striker, yeah. I mean, Christian Ramirez still with the team, I think, right? Miguel.
Oh yeah, Ramirez. Yeah, I didn't see him, but like, I feel like he's not playing as much as.
I don't think he was that good of a pickup for them.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was good in his role for Columbus. Because like he was almost like a super sub, and there were some games that he started and played very well alongside Cucho. But when you have someone like Cucho playing alongside you, like, he makes anybody look good.
Yeah, he could make me look like a pro.
Yeah. So, yeah. They're underperforming right now.
They are. I think we'll feel like they're an underperformer through the rest of the season. And LA fans, I guess this is your silver lining: is the roster I don't think is that bad. So a few ins and outs in the next offseason. Ricky Puig comes back, and next season you're a scary team again.
I was going to say they're probably going to be. I'll say it right now, they'll probably be one of the best teams in the West next year.
Yeah, they'll be a contender. This year their road form is absolutely terrible. Their home form is starting to pick up a little bit. I expect them to be a lot closer to what they were last in their championship season, where they did not lose a single game at their home field. So, all right, let's move on to some of our top overperformers, underperformers. For overperforming team, we'll just kind of we both had this kind of struggle with the bottom half of the West, where we didn't have super strong feelings for this kind of like superlative section about the teams, about the players. So like I've got one for overperforming. Um, we agree on the underperforming. You've pretty much got like the only player for top player. I'll just throw in some stuff. So
Yeah.
we'll feel this out. It'll be great.
Okay.
For my top overperforming team, I went with RSL for all the reasons that I said earlier. For not having an offense, basically, Diego Luna is your offense. And everybody else is like you have an 18-year-old breaking through. Your young DP winger, by the way, has been completely benched. Your actual DP, the one DP that was on the team to start the season, has been wildly ineffective. And then they started the team with, or started the season with Forster Ajago, who had been released on waivers by Nashville, and Ari Peel, who was a youth player in Australia. And those were your two center forwards to start the season. They finally picked up Willie Agata out of Kansas City, who looked the most professional of the three, is kind of the nicest thing I can say. Anyway, for all of that, the team still is only a point out of the playoffs. Pretty close to that playoff line. That to me is an overperformance when you consider not having an offense.
I mean, your argument is fantastic, and I would say with your argument, I would go with RSL in this, and I think that you can make a case also for Colorado Rapid because I feel like they don't really have.
Mm-hmm.
Navarro does have 9 goals, but like other than
He's a
what
nice
he's
player.
doing in Bassett, like where has Vines been? Like I feel like he's been non-existent for them. Even Reggie Cannon, like at one point in time, like those would have been good pickups, like really good pickups for an MLS side. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe you could say that they're overperforming, but at the same time, like they should be performing better with that squad now that I'm looking at it even more. So
The squad is too good, and the coaching I think
yeah.
is too good. You got Zach Steffen between the sticks, like.
So yeah, you can't really. But other than that, like you can't say any other team to me is overperforming other than your
This
RSL.
was a struggle for a lot of the West. The West is a wild conference this year. Let's move to underperforming. We totally agree on this one.
Yeah, and not San Diego.
You got San Diego on the brain.
Yeah, San Jose Earthquakes. Just the expectation that they have the three of the players that could be
Mm-hmm.
some of the best attackers in the league
Mm-hmm.
with Martinez, Espinoza, and Arango.
Chicho.
Yeah,
Yep.
like that. That's a great side, and maybe it is that they don't have that great of a defense, and that's why. But like I said, when we were talking earlier, like at the beginning of the season, all they had to do is just outscore the other team, and they were winning, and that's what they were doing. And then I think Arango got injured at one point, and then even since he's been back, like it hasn't gotten back to that. And even with this roster, I think you touched on it. The midfield isn't that great, but like Kay is pretty good. Jones is pretty good. Um, I get Jones is really more of a wing back, but it's
Good
just the
players on
squad.
the field are good players on the field, you know?
Yeah. So like, why? What's not working in the back in that midfield? Because I feel like Martinez, Arango, and Espinoza, like they're working well together. You're
They're
11,
totally carrying their load.
yeah, like Martinez 11 goals, Arango 11 goals, Espinoza 8 goals, 4 goals, I'm sorry, and 8 assists, and then the other two both have 2 assists apiece. They are carrying their load. They're doing what they're supposed to do as attacking players. So where's everybody else at?
I totally agree with you. Offense, they are really good. 49 goals is a lot. They're fourth best in the league for offensive production. Defense is seventh worst in the league at 40 goals conceded. Like they are desperately clinging to a ninth place spot right now. Last playoff spot. Bruce Arena comes, takes over this team, kind of his return to the league. A manager with that pedigree, you expect more from. And he immediately brings in a lot of his own guys too. Brought a lot of guys over from New England, guys he knows who've worked with him. So it's not like there's this big learning curve.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm totally with you on all of that. You add in the Bruce Arena stuff, like having a coach like that. You add in bringing over his own guys that are tested in this league, that know this league. For me, no excuse. This team should be way better than they are.
Yeah, to me, I predicted them. I believe I believe it was top 5 at the beginning of the season in my early season predictions or before the season because of their midfield is pretty decent, and they've just been a letdown. I feel bad for the Earthquake fans.
Yeah, the Quakes fans deserve a lot better. Let's move to some players. I like your player pick here, and the Earthquake fans will too.
Yeah, and I'm sticking with the Earthquakes. Espinoza. I should have went with my boy Martinez. I don't know.
I know why. 11 goals. He's
11
picking
goals.
it back up, man.
Yeah,
and he's staying healthy. He's playing
good.
well. He looks like a real team player.
Martinez is my favorite player in the league, and I mean that goes back to the Atlanta days. But anyway, I didn't pick him. I just think Espinoza, he's consistent. He's been there consistently. I think he's played pretty much every game this season. I could be wrong, but like he's consistently there, staying healthy. 4 goals, 8 assists with the likes of Arango and Martinez. Like I don't expect his goals to be a lot higher. Maybe his assists could be a little bit higher, but I mean the man, he has created 89 chances on the season so far. And again, looking at other players in his position and him being on a ninth place team in the West, he is performing in that higher percentile in players of that position. It's almost like he shouldn't be performing this well for a ninth place spot.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that pick. He's got 24 appearances out of 26 possible games for San Jose. He's still got 2,000 minutes played. So it's not like he's sitting. Really great player. Has been doing it on that San Jose team for years. I love that. I had a thought while we were doing this. Joao Klaus, 8 goals for that St. Louis team.
I like that pick.
And a lot of work, man. Just a lot of work. Really covers ground. It's weird. You'd think he's not very fast, but he just pops up in everywhere. So really one of my favorite players to watch in a lot of ways.
He is for me too. I love his work. His work rate is phenomenal. For his hair looks like he is older than what he is.
I know you would think that guy is like 50.
Yeah, poor guy, but his work rate, I've liked it since they've come in. Because he's been on the team since they've come in the league, I believe. I took to him. I like him. So to have 8 goals on a team that one doesn't score goals and are just that bad this season, I think that's a great pick.
Yeah. Thank you. For unexpected players, we both struggled with this, and we were talking about somebody before we started. Jack McGlynn.
Yeah.
tell me, what do you think about Jack McGlynn? Has
Uh,
he surprised you at all this season?
he has surprised me in the unexpected way, as in a negative way. Um, I think that I was excited for him to move to Houston to be more of that. We talked a little bit about it beforehand. Like he went from not having pressure because he played on a very talented Philadelphia Union team with other stars, but now he is the star in my opinion there in Houston, and maybe that pressure is just a little too much. But he also doesn't have the same talent around him as he did in Philly. So yeah, unexpected. I was expecting more from him this season.
I agree with you, especially because I know that when he arrived in Houston, he was really playing in like a center mid role, right? Um, one of those guys that you're trying to get the ball to his feet. And as the season has progressed, he has moved outside into a wide position, which I think is probably twofold. One, because his real talent is offensive. He's got that shot from distance. He likes to cut from the right side in on his left foot. He's got that big left foot. Um, but then also, I think it's to give him the space to operate, to be able to get his head up, to see the game, to pick the passes out. I don't think playing in the middle really suited him as much. And I find that to be a little interesting. I won't say it's disappointing or anything like that. Talent is talent in wherever it comes on the field. But for all the hype around the guy, right? To see Houston sort of like struggle a little bit to figure out how to use him, and then he goes to the U.S. men's national team. He's actually like the day one starter.
And he had that
And,
banger,
yeah,
with his left foot. But yeah,
and then he gets benched, right? And when we get to the meaningful games in the Gold Cup, he's a bench player. He's
getting max 5 minutes a
yeah,
game.
not getting the minutes exactly. That for me has been the unexpected moment. There's talent there. That kid's got talent for sure, but we're not seeing it really develop. We're not seeing him push it, and we are seeing a little bit of the limits of not being able to play in the middle. Has to go outside. Can play outside. He's got 3 assists and 5 goals, but 2 of those are penalties, right? So he's not been able to pick up some of that load that you would have expected.
Yeah.
All right, we're coming up to the end here. Disappointing players. We totally agree on this one.
Yeah. He's no longer in the league.
He's no longer in the league.
He has left the league. But I think that plays a role in why we didn't see him play that well in Dallas. But it's Acosta. From what he did in Cincinnati, I think he was just ready to move out of the league, and this move to Dallas, I feel like maybe he's just like, whatever, like I'll wait a little while until the next window. And just he was so disappointing because that Dallas team has some pretty good players. I mean, you have Musa up top, and I think he has double digit goals for a team that's in 11th place. Um, so he has players to get it to. Yeah, Musa has 13 goals on the season. Uh, it's not a terrible team. It's not the best team, but with a player and the talent that Acosta has, yes, he is getting a little bit older, I guess you could say, but not that much older.
Mm-hmm.
He should have performed better. It is a letdown. I think that's probably, to me, been the most disappointing player of the season so far.
I mean, I'm with you. I'm totally with you. And obviously, I would have to pick this guy because he scored like a game-winning header against RSL in Salt Lake City this year. No, 5 goals, 1 assist is his 2/3 season tally. That's wildly disappointing for a player who, for the 3 years before this, was an MVP candidate with I think double-digit goals and assists or something like that for Cincy, or something akin to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's playing next to Petter Musa, who we know is a good striker. Petter Musa has 13 goals and 5 assists. This is a guy who can play soccer really well, actually. And I'm sorry, but you're in Luciano Acosta's position, and you can only manage 1 assist.
Yeah.
Right. Petter Musa's got 13 goals, and you've only got 1 assist. It's not like Logan Farrington, by the way, is like a total scrub or anything like that. As the backup striker, so there's that guy's not a total scrub. Anderson Julio off the wing for when he's been available and stuff like that. Like, there is talent in this team. It's not the most talented team, but I don't know, man. Lucho Acosta, I think you nailed it. There's something about him. Maybe he didn't want to be there. Doesn't want to be in the league.
Because I know that he was wanting to go somewhere else, and maybe it's where he ended up here when he was trying to leave Cincinnati. Because he didn't report to training camp or anything in Cincy. Yeah, he put out a big post to Cincinnati fans and everything. He wasn't liking what the staff and stuff was doing, I believe. But yeah, back to I pulled up his stats. The last 3 seasons in Cincinnati, double digits for both goals and assists. Last season, he was 15 goals, 19 assists. The season before that, 21 goals and 14 assists. Like you said, are you meaning to tell me that you're really only going to get 1 assist?
5 and 1? Like, come on, what?
Yeah. And I know that I said it off the live, but I'll even say it here. Like, the East is stronger than the West, in my opinion, and you're only getting 1 assist.
The East is stronger than the West, and there are goals to be had in the West if you're willing to do the work. And it just a lot of times looked like Acosta wasn't willing to do the work.
And I think time will tell. Like, with this going into his season with the team that he went to,
Fluminense, was it?
Yeah,
in Brazil.
Yeah. And if he comes down, he's starting to score and assist. What my gut feeling is definitely true at that point. If he's starting to perform there, he was just ready to leave. He's ready to go.
Absolutely right. If he takes off. Well, cool. These are the longest episodes we ever do. Regular service will be resumed on Thursday. We'll be back with picks and predictions. Bob will be in. As always, we'll be kind of sharing also our progress throughout the season. Thank you, as always, for being here. Thank you for participating, for commenting and stuff. As always, like and subscribe, and yeah, we'll see you Thursday. So for us, thank you.